cracking? It's another day here at Big Builds, and I'm back to work on a Dodge Charger police car. Today I'm going to wet sand and buff the front bumper, hopefully get all that assembled, get it mounted, put on, maybe start mocking up the wing on the back, see how that looks, maybe start messing with the roof. We'll see what happens. Check it out. The next day, nice and cured. Does have a little bit of trash in it here and there, but I'll wet sand that right out. I'm gonna start and see if I can get away with 1,000 grit. I have 1,000 grit wet sandpaper. I'm gonna use that first, see if I can get away with that. If it gets enough of this stuff out, which it should, and then I'll move on to a 1,500 grit, and then I'll buff it out, and then we should be done with that part. So I'm not gonna concentrate too much on like, actually I shouldn't have untaped that, but because it's gonna get that stuff all over it, I'm gonna tape it back up probably. But I'm not going to concentrate on like inside of here because obviously I can't get my buffing wheel inside of there. So I will do the flat parts that I can get. And then here, the face, and then the top and the sides where I can get, where I can actually buff. But other than that, like I'm not going to buff this bottom part because you'll never see it. So let's get to it. All right, so I got the whole front end assembled. It was a pain. I even like, when I flipped it over on top of this thing here, you can see I had it actually pulled old paint up because it was still fresh. So I had to sand parts of it and buff it again while it was on the car. But I finally got it on the car. It was such a pain to get it on the car. Like it's aftermarket, so the mounting points on the sides didn't quite match up. The hood was a little too far back. I had to like move that forward a little bit. But I got it all on there. Check it out. Boom. That looks awesome. The only thing is, I replaced the headlight bulb in the headlight. It works, but it's hazy, so it's super, super hard to get this bumper off. So if I do, I think instead of trying to fix those, I think I'm just gonna replace them because I don't want to pull it apart, have it apart, and mess with those for that whole time trying to do that. I'll probably just replace them. Because if I have to pull that bumper back off, it's gotta be worth it. So yeah, that's it. I think it looks super dope. I have to get those running lights right there. I took the rim off so I could access it. So now I'm gonna actually put the new rims on, see if they fit, and maybe just keep those on there. Because the next thing is get rid of that light, paint that top, and put that wing on, and we should be good to go. So let's see what's up with those rims. All right, so I got the rims on. Huge difference. It's crazy what a difference just rims can make. Check it out. How tough is that? Those rims changed the whole look of the car. Well, that's it. I hope there's some form of, oh, there it is. Right when I was getting ready to talk trash, mounting hardware. Here's the drilling instructions.
kind of weird to even drill. I would think you could 3M tape this thing down. Yeah, you definitely got to drill some holes. That's all right. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it's already painted shiny. Gloss. I thought it was a matte black. Okay. Wow. All right, now I'm impressed. Wow, it's painted glossy. I was thinking it was a matte. It was a matte color. It's actually gloss black. Let's take it back, see what it looks like. All right, so I set the wing on there just to see what it looks like. It looks awesome. So now that I see that, I definitely have to paint that top black. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because if you stand back and look at it, it's gonna be the black wing, black rims, black top, and then all the little black inserts. Definitely gotta paint that top black. This thing looks awesome. What's cracking? It's another day here at Big Builds. I totally forgot to start recording before I started doing work, so let me show you what I got. All right, so what I've done is cut this little piece right here that I can kind of stick right up inside that hole, like that. Kind of had it laid down and held in there, like that. Then I can tack it, trim it while it's in there, and fill that hole. All right, so I got all that welded up, ground down. Check it out. That's what it looks like. So what I'm gonna do now is I've got some primer in a can, so I'm just gonna like tape this off right here, just hit that with primer, and then I'm gonna let that cure, and then I'm gonna go get some like glazing putty, and then just glaze over this area here, and then I'll let that cure, and then I'll sand that down, and then by that time I should have everything else taped off and be able to get that whole started on painting that whole roof. Alright, so I got everything sanded down, getting ready to clean it all off, and then I'm going to start taping everything up. But I had to run to the store and I got some body filler. I actually got, let's see, of course the only thing that was open was AutoZone, so I did get this body filler right here. And I also got this glazing putty. So what I did was I mixed this up, I filled the hole. I'm gonna start sanding that down, and then this I'll get last on there to smooth everything out. Check it out. And this stuff was already hardening as I was putting it on there. Well, not that hard, I guess. But that's it. So I'll let that dry. I'm gonna start cleaning everything up while that dries, and then I'll come back through and start sanding that if it cures in time. I don't know. I hope I mixed enough activator with it. It doesn't really give you a good instruction on there. It just says 2%, so I'm assuming I put plenty on there, but we'll see. So we'll let that cure. I'm gonna sit here and clean all this off, start taping everything off, and go from there. All right, so I did another coat of that body filler, and check it out. You see how it's nice and smooth now, it's even. I kind of blended it back in with 100 grit. And then you see the little like pop marks right there. I'm going to use that glazing putty now. Go over that, let that dry, smooth that out. It should be good to go. And then I'm going to start, I think I might actually just pull the car out maybe and wash it off tomorrow. I probably won't have time to do it tonight, just to get all that sanding dust off of there before I start painting. So for now, I'm going to get back to this, get it cracking. Alright, so you can see there I put the first coat of that glazing putty. It's probably the only coat I'm going to use just to fill in that little pinhole that was right there. I'll sand this down nice and smooth, and that glazing putty should make it just super smooth, and you won't even be able to tell the difference between the transition between that and that. Then I'll hit it with another thing of primer, and like I said, I'll probably let it all sit overnight, and then I'll pull it outside tomorrow, wash it all off, dry it off real good, and then I'll start taping it all up and I'll start painting it. All right, so got all that done, filled in that little pinhole there. There is a teeny tiny little indentation about the size of a fingernail that's not very high at all or noticeable. I'm just gonna leave it. If it was, you know, this is a cop car, it's got a couple little dings here and there in it, so I'm not like trying to make this thing like show quality, so I'm not too concerned with it. If it was like a all around paint job, body work deal, I would make it perfect, but it's pretty good. So let's get some of this etching primer on there and call it a night. So there you go. You can see, yeah, you can't even see that little fingernail thing. That just got covered up with the primer. Super smooth. Blended that right in. Can't even tell there was a cop light there. So that's it for today. I'll catch you tomorrow. Alright, so it's another day here at Big Builds. I let the car sit overnight. I let the primer cure. It's still got the sanding dust on it, so what I'm going to do now is pull it outside, wash it all off, get all that sanding dust off from the clear coat. Then I'm going to dry it off. I'm going to clean it with a prep all, and then I'm going to start taping the whole car off for paint. So here we go. All right, so I got the whole car masked off, taped up, ready to rock. What I'm gonna do now is prep all clean it one more time. I'm gonna take a tack cloth, make sure I get all the little fuzz things off of there, and then I'm gonna start spraying it. Check it out. Taping is like almost the longest part of the painting process. So what I had to do was I broke my line right here where the black's gonna stop, and then I'm also, because I broke this whole quarter panel down, the clear, so that I could blend it back in, I had to tape this off separate. So what I'm gonna do is paint the black, and then as soon as I'm done with the black, I'm gonna pull all this off, and then this is exposed and everything else is taped off, and I'm gonna clear coat the whole thing, including that part of the back fender, so it'll all flow and the line will be underneath the clear coat. So here we go. What's cracking? It's another day here. I'm back to work on a Dodge Charger. I went through and scuffed everything again, sanded it down, ran through the primer, ran through the base coat, spared you guys all that stuff. So now I'm getting ready to on-tape the backside and apply the clear coat to the whole top of the car on that side, and check it out. So you can see here the black looks way better. Yeah, there's a little bit of trash in there, but I'll be able to sand it out in the clear coat, just kind of even it out. It's not going to be perfect, especially after I had to sand everything down again. So now I'm just letting it flash, and then once it flashes, I'll hit it with the clear. So for now, I gotta peel this part of the tape off to reveal this part of the quarter here so that I can clear coat that and all of that. So let's get to it. All right, so here it is, all completely done. Top painted, wing on, windows tinted. It's really, really dirty because I drove it and it was like snowing, but here it is. Boom.
It's all done. Got the side lights wired up, bumper put on, whole top painted, windows tinted, new rims put on, got the wing on. Came out pretty sick. Today's episode. I appreciate you watching. If you like it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure your post notifications are turned on. Leave me some comments below. Let me know what you think about the builds. Stay tuned. We're going to do some crazy stuff this year. Peace.